How's it going, everyone? Faerghast here, and welcome to the Ask GHAST number 8? Maybe? Is it the 8th one? I don't know. Maybe it is the 8th one. Hey, we're gonna jump into it, and we're gonna continue from where we left off last. So, Jacob TJP, do you think you'll finish Bloodlines, and do you have any idea as to how long that would be? I do have plans to finish. So for those who don't know, Bloodlines is the ROM hack that I've been working on since 2014. It's a Fire Emblem 7 hack that I mentioned before. Has a lot of demi-humans and inspired by Shining Force 2 and stuff. And I do have plans to finish it. And I was working quite consistently on it for a few, I guess, maybe like a month and a half ago. But then I got let go of my job, and right now things aren't really, like in the, I guess things are just kind of like chaotic right now. So, as I try to, figure out like what the next step is for me personally, Bloodlines is a bit on hold because I feel like all the time I have to spend right now is trying to figure out what I need to do next or what I should put myself into next, that kind of thing. So how long it would be until it would be, I don't know. It's a long project with a lot of investment put into it. And right now I just need to kind of focus on other things, temporarily, but my team is really, really great and they understand completely. So yeah. Ender Warlock, favorite class / units outfit. Ooh, I like heroes a lot, and it's for the obvious reason that they look cool, that they're usually jacked and they have cool animations. Heroes are like my favorite. I really dig those. Garrick can be a hero, so you know. Danny Arcana, axe, sword, or lance, basically where you fall in the weapon triangle if you had to pick just one. I think I would go with sword. I've like cut wood and stuff before, but axes feel like too close for me. Lances are pretty cool too, and I have long arms, so maybe that would be helpful for me. Maybe I would go with lance. You know what? I think I might go with that instead. Lances kind of seem like the most practical thing for me because I'm already pretty tall. Why not just expand like my reach with a literal spear, you know? Wise Max, what are your thoughts on an RTS Fire Emblem game in the vein of the first Warhammer 40k Dawn of War? I have no idea. An RTS Fire Emblem though? I could see it as like a kind of spin-off project. I've never played an RTS game before, but I would love to do it because I know there's a lot of really popular RTS games out there. So a Fire Emblem one would make sense to me. What's your opinion on Visteria Saga, Shozo Kaga's latest work? I don't know. I'm really happy he's still making, I admire his reputation and continue to work on his passion on SRPG as an independent developer, even though his popularity can't be compared to someone like Kojima. Yeah, like I admire his hard work ethic too. I have not played it though. Ever since I watched your character analysis on Celica, I have wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on how Alm was written in Fire Emblem Echoes, and how much did you enjoy him as a character? I actually didn't like him that much. I mean, I liked him, of course, because he's Alm, but I swear, and I definitely feel that Gaiden Alm, despite his near lack of character, felt more hardcore to me and more of a unique character than Echoes Alm did. When I think of Echoes, I think of this kind of like Gary Stu, I hate saying that, but like a Gary Stu level character who's like near perfect, and is like just the perfect character to me. When in reality, like Alm in Gaiden at least felt like he was written as this kind of like bordering, like not necessarily like warmongering, but he got shit done and he was like fight first, do stuff later. And he really felt like a true incarnation of Duma, and that side of like these perspectives, like of, you know, Duma and Milla, and like being the kind of battle hardened versus being very like generous and caring. In Echoes though, it felt like Alm wasn't so much kind of a Duma guy, he was more so of a Milla guy. So you had these two really charitable characters, and it kind of made sense for Celica to be that way, but I feel like Alm in in Echoes, if I had my choice to write him, I would make him more aggressive and even changing his appearance into something more kind of aggressive and gruff and like kind of, I don't want to say like Ike, but I was really hoping that like in my perfect world, I shouldn't say I was hoping for, I'm just really happy Echoes even was a thing. But in my perfect world, my Alm would be like this stocky, tough as nails, like farm boy who just like, if you like crossed him, he would just be like, okay, we're doing this right now. Like a tough and rough, like total. I'm explaining what a maritimer. Alm should have been like a backwoods Nova Scotian, you know, wearing plaid, you know, that kind of thing. That's my envisionment of Alm, and being kind of more on the aggressive side of things. What I think would have made him much more standout and much cooler. Best girl in Fire Emblem Three Houses, Annette, baby. Although I'm really curious to see how Happy's gonna behave, but like Annette has always like been kind of important to me because she was like, she's just Annette. She's awesome. She always makes me smile when I think about her. Would you betray Zeke? No. Who is your favorite and least favorite character outside of Fire Emblem? Ooh. Okay. My favorite character. Okay, this is a weird. Okay, this is kind of weird. Okay, so I was actually kind of thinking about this the other day because there was like a make your own like Smash Ultimate DLC roster pack, and my favorite character that I started to think about that I really wanted to have in Smash Ultimate was Rash from Battletoads. I remember, like, I used to play the F out of Battletoads when I was a kid, like for the NES and the just the NES, like Battletoads, the game, and then Battletoads and Double Dragon. Those were like so much fun games growing up. So like, he wouldn't be like my favorite character outside of Fire Emblem, but I love me some Rash. Rash, Zitz, and Pimple, baby. And my least favorite character outside of Fire Emblem, this is a weird take and probably something you wouldn't expect, but I finished watching like season 5 and 6 of Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I really like that show. And I actually can barely stand Terry Jefford, the guy who is played by Terry Crews. Because I felt like he had he felt kind of more relevant in the earlier seasons, and then in the last like few seasons there, like he was basically a joke in the cast. Like he was just a running joke of like being this like wimpy, frantic sergeant, which made like it was frustrating to have him on screen. And apparently in season 7 he has more of a role because he's now like the kind of the big cheese in the 99th precinct. But I'm really hoping that he like gets his act together more because he was like kind of unbearable in season 6, in my opinion. Favorite non-lord characters from Three Houses? I would say non-lords. Okay, so from Blue Lions, I liked Felix and Sylvain, and Annette. And from Black Eagles, I liked Linhardt and Hubert. And from the Church, I liked Hanman. I liked Gilbert. And from Golden Deer, I was into and Lysith. I mean, they're all great, but like I don't know, all those. I think maybe Hanman. Oh, and Shamir's my favorite character. I don't know why I forgot about that. Shamir is my favorite character in Three Houses that isn't a lord. I think she's like super relatable to me and like so relatable that I'll like literally cry if I think about it too much. Favorite game series apart from Fire Emblem: Kirby, Battletoads, Smash, the Mana series, Resident Evil 4 pretty much. Final Fantasy from like the old days. I haven't played any game past Final Fantasy 6. I played all the other ones except for like 1 and 2. 1 and 2. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. And like the Shining series, obviously. Can you buff Homie Malcolm in the next patch? Yes, he will be buffed. He is buffed. He's very good now. Are Gatekeeper and Poke Guy the same person? I don't know what that means. No. Why did Daddy go out for cigarettes and never come back? Oof. What kind of program languages do you use for Fire Emblem ROM hacks? Because I'd like to learn. I don't do any of that stuff. I have buddies who like take care of all like the ASM and like custom hacks and whatnot. Are you going to cover Tokyo Mirage Sessions Encore? Nope. Do you plan to give us your opinion on every Three Houses boss? Not really. What are your thoughts on the Persona series? Any plans to play Tokyo Mirage Sessions Sharp FE? It's a mouthful. I don't have any plans for it, and I've never played the Persona series, and I don't really have any thoughts about it. Will you be attending Anime North again this year or any future conventions in your schedule? Yeah, I think so. I have some conventions in mind that I want to attend. I actually kind of want to hit up like an American convention, but I need to get my passport updated. Whoops. Ginger Spice, how do you push through a tough workout mentally when you're not doing your best performance-wise? That's tough. If you're like not doing your best as in like you're not really feeling the workout, I don't know. Sometimes I just kind of walk on the treadmill or like I end up just doing things that I like doing to kind of like get through the workout. There are definitely days where I like have trouble sticking to my workouts or really enjoying myself at the gym. It's not all like, I mean, I talk about fitness a lot, and you guys know that I'm a gym guy, but there's definitely days where I'm just like, frig, I really don't want to do this anymore. But you gotta, I mean, when you're there, even anything really, like even entering the building is an accomplishment for a lot of people. So like, yeah, if for me personally, sometimes I just kind of default to like really exercise that I enjoy doing personally, and that kind of helps me push through it. What do you think of Ghast's Chat 3 scandal on Amino? I don't know what that is, but I vaguely remember what happened, and I was just like, and the admins told me they closed the chat because there's some crazy stuff that went down. But I barely remember the rest of it. People are talking about Gas Chat 4 and they want it. Dan Brown, workout tips / recommends for starting lifting. Well, my number one advice that I tell anyone who's interested in getting started at the gym and working out is figure out why. Like, not only what your goal is. So this is going to be important, so pay attention. So there's two sorts of goals, right? There's like your quantitative goal where it's like, I want to lose weight, or I want to gain muscle, or I want to quit smoking, or I want to lower my blood pressure, like that kind of shit. That's like a goal where you can like quantitatively say, I want to lose 15 pounds, okay? I want to lose 15 pounds by Christmas or something. Like that's a goal that's tangible because you know what you want. But like an emotional goal, or like a goal where like kind of like an abstract view of this goal is kind of asking yourself why you want to do it. So you want to, let's say that I'm someone who is wanting to lose 20 pounds, right? I want to lose 20 pounds because it'll make me, the reason why is because it'll make me feel lighter on my feet. It's going to be less stressful on my joints. I'm at less risk of kind of diabetes and health diseases and heart disease, that kind of thing. Maybe my blood pressure's a little high, and by losing weight, I'll get it lower. It will perhaps increase my confidence. Maybe emotionally, I'll be able to be happier. Maybe I want to do this because I want to make my parents proud. Like, you have these quantitative goals, then you have these kind of emotional kind of justifications for them. And once you figure out and like sit down and figure out what you really, really want, then it's really way easier to figure out how you even want to pursue the gym. Because a lot of people, and speaking as someone who used to work at a gym for 2 years before I got laid off, was, you know, what are you going to work on today? And they're like, I don't know. Or like, what's your fitness goal? And they're like, I don't know. I just want to like come here because I want to come here, which is fine. You're at the gym, but once you figure out that big why reason, then it really changes your perspective on it. And then you'll understand and be motivated to actually what the heck you want to even be doing. Maximilian Blacktooth, how similar is your life to Trailer Park Boys? It's not. Chocolate or vanilla? Chocolate for the most part. Can you think of any OCs you had in the past? Doesn't matter how far you got into it, as long as you put the same thought over time. And if so, who were they and how perfect were they at being perfect? Any OCs? I have a bunch. I have a ROM hack with a bunch of them. Joe Lowe's, who is your least favorite character in Three Houses? Mine is Ferdinand. Mine is like probably like Raph. despite like him being a huge musclehead and whatever. Seems kind of like I don't know. There's that. Now, when I say least favorite, it doesn't mean the one I hate the most. It's just the one that like I kind of least think about or like appreciate. So maybe like Raphael. He's never really struck me as super interesting. I read through most of his supports, and still it just doesn't really hit me that much. Yeah, I would say him. Maybe like Bernadetta. Well, I say that without really digging deep into her supports just yet, so I don't want to like piss people off. But yeah, I like Ferdinand though. I like his kind of change between being this like super naive like noble into someone who's like, oh shit, my house is completely destroyed and I don't have a house anymore and I'm kind of an enemy to the Empire or whatever. Effie Lever, what inspired the story of Bloodlines, Shining Force, and wanting to make my own story because I was younger back then and I have a crazy imagination. I mean, I still do, so I still come up with crazy ideas for the story and stuff. And who is your favorite character in the hack? I think I like Dewey because he's fun, and Malcolm is this chipper guy and Bram is also this like aloof swordsman, mercenary, very like chip on his shoulder, like very classic Fire Emblem OC for someone to think of. I don't know. I like them all. I think they're all great. Uni is a fun one too. He's a jellyfish. They're all cool. I like them all. Jillian, they're all good. I like them all. I'm very happy about the characters I thought of. Who cares? How are you doing today, my guy? I'm doing good. I have like lately it's been kind of tough for me just because like I really liked my job. And for me to be kind of for everything that kind of went down, it was only like 3 days ago and I'm still kind of like in that processing phase. And there are moments where like even earlier today where I just kind of like sit down and I'm like, shit, I really wish I really think I should be training, or I really wish I still had that job. And I was texting one of my best friends who I work with, and I was just telling him like, man, I should be working with you still. And he was like, yeah, man, I know. And I can never get that job back. And really, like when you have a really good job, and I'm in a town where like that kind of money isn't everywhere. It's good money, and I was making good money there. And where I'm from, doesn't really come very often. And it was a really good fit for me. And the fact that I don't have that anymore is, it doesn't feel great. But life goes on, and when when one door closes, like another one opens, and I'm trying to make the most of it. But yeah, sometimes I'm feeling good and sometimes I'm feeling bad. It's kind of a rough time in my life right now. When I first moved back to my hometown and I got my job as a manager at this gym, I had this vision of my big three. My big three was having a roof over my head, not worrying about money, having a good job, having a job that I really enjoyed that I can do for the long term, and being emotionally fulfilled in that I have someone who like I can say is my girlfriend, or someone that like I really cherish, and I would be kind of fulfilled in those three ways. And over the last 2 years of working there, I've always had these two. I've always had that roof over my head sustainability, and kind of like I'm good. I'm not strapped for cash. Like I'll live to the next day or whatever. And I had a good job. But I've like that emotional fulfillment. It's always something that I would think I have, and then some circumstances or some stuff happened where it kind of fell apart. And I came really close to getting the trifecta, like the Faerghast trifecta. I came really close to getting the trifecta, but then the job was lost, and so now I'm back into that 1.5 out of 3 type deal. So that's answering that question. That's how I answer that question. That was kind of a huge tangent. That probably took up like almost 20 minutes-ish. So I'm probably going to wrap things up right now. I'll actually answer the last question on a better note. So Mikachu Jabronichu. What's something you think Fire Emblem does better in the fantasy genre than other games / stories? Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones. Well, I barely remember Lord of the Rings because I was like a child when I watched that, and I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I would say like the supports. Like I feel like very few games have as much like effort for fleshing out characters than Fire Emblem does. And like I mean, I've designed an entire series based off separate, like even like random characters because they have such a depth to their personality through their supports and their kind of interactions in the story. So yeah, that's about it. I would say that their characters and their supports are really good, and the fact that they want to go super deep in that depth. Anyways, guys, I think that was about 20 questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A. If you want to support me, you can hit the bell to be notified of all future uploads. Patreon is linked down below as well if you want to support me there. And with that being said, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.